You want to know the secret to business success? Stay tuned.
From Philadelphia, the home of the Liberty Bell, Financial Freedom Radio starts now. Here's your host, Raymond Jewell.
Hi, welcome to our show. We're going to talk about the success of business and how to make sure that your business is successful and thrives. First, we want to do a little housekeeping. I want to thank you all for coming and watching this show. Please like, share, and subscribe
Like, share,
to our
subscribe.
show.
That's right.
Yeah. Welcome, Steve. How was
Hey,
your
Ray.
weekend?
It was good, thank you. How was yours?
Hunkering down,
Got a little,
still self-quarantined.
got a lot of yard work done, got a lot of housework done, so it was a good time, although I'm ready to get out and start doing stuff.
Wow. They
It's going to be
say
a
that
while
this
for
is
that.
supposed the end of April or mid-April when it hits the peak. By the way, you folks are probably wondering why I'm asking Steve how his weekend was. You see the show on Friday, but we shoot this on Monday and
Right.
Monday morning. So
Yep.
that's why I'm asking how his weekend went. Um, and now, Steve, I mean, we're hunkering down and doing a lot of reading and watching a lot of movies. I mean, I'm burning up Netflix.
I've seen more of my neighbors there's another neighbor going out for a walk. I've seen more of my neighbors in the past 2 weeks than I have in the past 10 years.
Yeah, yeah. So today, I thought we'd take a little sidetrack here and talk about planning. And I know that you're a recent convert to planning, and we're going to talk about the secret of business. And the secret of business is planning. You've heard me say over and over and over again that 1 out of 10 businesses will survive only 5 years, and that's being very generous. That statistic gets even worse depending on the industry and depending on the type of business that you're running. The home based business, network marketing, MLM is brutal. It's even worse there. There's a simple reason why businesses don't survive, and that's lack of planning. Because because in your mind is a perfect world. We plan things in our mind. I talk to people, these are highly intelligent people that have degrees in business, and I ask them, where's your business plan, or have you done a business plan? Well, I've got it in my head. Well, in your mind is a perfect world. That's not planning. That's not success planning. You will fail if that's where it is, because you can't execute something that's in your head. It's impossible to do that. It has to be written down. And when you write down anything, it becomes a contract with your brain and reality. But a good plan written down is executable.
Yep.
The greatest plan in your head is not, because something's going to come along and cause you not to execute. And our brain is not geared for organization. People just cannot put in their brain a plan and follow it to the T. It will
No.
not work.
Mm-mm.
You have experience with that, right, Steve?
Yeah, I do. I do. I've had a lot of issues where you've been writing me pretty hard to put a lot of the ideas that I've got down into a business plan, and I find that when I actually write it down, it actually helps me organize my thoughts a lot better.
Yeah, you want to elaborate on that a little further?
Um,
Because I think this is important that Steve tell you this. This was an eye opener for him because he was not a planner.
well, I was a planner. Now, hang on now, before you start throwing me under the bus, I was a planner. At least I thought I was. I would
In your
have.
mind is a perfect world, right?
That's right, and that's how my world works, and I'm sticking to it. But
Yeah.
yeah, so I would think of I need to do this and I need to do this, and in my mind I would organize it. The problem is I'm so detail oriented that I would organize it into multiple steps, and by the time I got down to step 75, I had forgotten the first 5 or 6 steps. And then I thought
Yeah.
of step 7 that needed to go in between steps 5 and 6. So it wound up, because you have to kind of do a mind map. And because you're,
Yeah.
like you said, your brain isn't organized. Your brain is organized to just think of things when they happen,
Right.
and to get them onto paper gives you the opportunity to, number 1, don't forget them, and number 2, put them into an order that actually makes sense.
Yeah. So what you're hearing is someone who is fairly detailed, but I guarantee you, he says step 60, that kind of stuff. He's kidding. I bet you that you can't get past step 10 in your mind because you can't rethink it in the order you thought it the first time.
Yeah.
And as I said, in your mind is a perfect world. So everything runs perfectly. There are no inefficiencies in our mind. The only thing that we are able to do in our mind is imagine the outcome we want. But when reality sets in, that's not what happens. So when you put it down on paper, what you get is the steps you need to go through, and then look at that and second guess what could possibly happen when you go to execute it. You've heard of pros and cons sheets. People do that a lot. What are the pros? What are the cons? When you get to each step, do a pro and con sheet. Now, there's many of formats to follow. And you could go to the SBA, Small Business Administration, and you can find a format to follow for a business plan. The internet has them, and there's all sorts of gurus out there talking about how to do it. And sometimes they want to sell you a software package. But all you have to do is write down what's in your head, where you want to go. You have a great idea, but it needs to get past the planning stage for it to be a great idea. Sometimes a great idea doesn't even pass the planning stage because it's not viable in reality. So when you write down the steps that you want to follow on your business plan, then you do a pro and con sheet. And I don't know if you know what that is. It's a T shape. T shape. How's it? Are we
Yeah, that
backwards
works.
or forwards? A
A
T
T looks the
shape.
same way frontwards and backwards, right?
Really? I'm not having a good day intellectually today.
You're doing fine. Keep it up.
So you put pros and you put cons, and then you write the pros and you write the cons, and be honest. If you're not honest with yourself, you're not going to get a good business plan together. And so when you put down the steps you want to follow, then you put together your pro and con for each step. Now, let's go back to understanding a business. So, one of my biggest pet peeves is network marketing, commonly referred to as MLM. And there are so many people out there who start these companies and who tell you follow this and follow that, and you'll be successful, and it doesn't happen because there's no personal business plan. You have to do due diligence on a company. There's so many of them that start up and go out of business, and everyone that starts up is the greatest latest flavor of the month, and they're going to hype it up and do everything they can. And a lot of people get caught up in that hype, and then they end up following what their so-called guru tells them, and they fail because the guru doesn't really know what they're doing either. They're caught up in the hype, and that lasts for about 6 months, maybe a year, and then they're off to the latest greatest flavor again of the month. So if you see a network marketing company that you want to go into, put together a plan, understand that company. Do you have a passion with that company? Do you have a passion with the product? Is the company transparent? Can you find out the different levels people achieve? Can you see what percentage of the people that come into that business actually achieve those levels? And what have they done to achieve those levels? Many times these companies will give people rank advancement just to get them up there so that they could say they've got so many at the top level, so many at the next to the top level, and that kind of thing. a lot of times it's very hard to get information about the business. Did the business put together a business plan? Are they self-funded? Are they funded through banks? Do they have a board of directors? Are the board of directors, is the board of, or well, whatever, um,
It's a rough day
active
for
in
you.
the business? Yeah, I tell you. What's the ego of the owner or the developer of the business? What's their ego like? You've heard me say many times over and over again, entrepreneurs will get that business to a certain level and then they will refuse to turn it over to a professional manager and it'll crash and burn. They need to know when to step aside. Too many times I've seen the entrepreneurs get in the way of the business and kill it, or they get in the way of the income that you make. And that kills it because it de incentivizes people. If it's a product that people, a pattern using a product that they don't normally do on a daily basis, what do they do to incentivize the customer to use their product? It's these kind of things that you want to put down on paper. Take a day or two, a week before you make a decision on a company and put down a business plan. Any plan, as crude as it might be, is better than zero. So when you write a plan down on paper and then you look at the reality of the plan, make sure that you uncover all the hidden, unforeseen things that can occur. In economics, a plan is only as good as the execution of it. But if you've got even a poorly constructed plan, that's better than nothing.
Yep.
So many times, when you think that you know what you're doing in your head, don't listen to that. Don't follow what the hype people in these network marketing companies do or say. Plan your own plan. Plan your work and work your plan. Just because they have a plan doesn't mean it's your plan.
Well,
Now, when you plan any business, offline or online, you want to have a plan. It's so easy to go to the Small Business Administration's website and get their plans, get their formats, and follow them. It's not that hard to do. We're putting together a group on LinkedIn for business planning, and I'm putting together a plan before I actually start to hype the group.
right.
We're giving away planning information for free. I'm going to give away what knowledge I have to help people become successful in business. I want to bust that business fatality rate. That business fatality rate stinks. And I think that people can actually do better and not have these incredible, horrible statistics. But the main ingredient in doing better is put together a plan.
Yep.
If more people put together a plan, it wouldn't be one out of 10 businesses surviving 5 years. It would be five businesses. It would be much better. But I know everybody's not going to put together a plan. So if I can get you to put together a plan and give you all the tools and encouragement and where to do it, then we're going to hit a home run. And that's what my LinkedIn group is going to do. So if you're listening to this and you're not on LinkedIn or you're not connected to me, go to LinkedIn and connect, and you can have access to this group once we roll it out. But the point is I'm putting together a plan for it before I do it.
A plan
I'm
for the
going to
planning group.
second get a plan for the a plan for the planning group, right? So if I've gotten any message out today, please go and set up a plan, as crude as it might be, before you start any business. Or if you're in the business now, stop and put together a plan to go
Yep.
forward. And I guarantee you, you will feel much better about what you do. So we're going to continue beating this drum as long as it takes until people say stop, or people say, I get it. As long as the fatality rate is what it is, I'll keep beating the planning drum. Now,
But
I may
there's a
divert into
difference
other
between
little
saying that
things.
they get it and then actually getting it. That some people will want you to, you know what
Right,
I mean? It's like you and I have
right.
have known each other for a long time, and so it's a lot of people coming onto the podcast don't know you as well as I do, and it's just so much of what you said. People need to pay attention to this because it's and especially because I'm very passionate about network marketing, and that was how you and I met, was through that. And it's like, you guys don't understand that doing what the business tells you to do is not a business plan. That's a step in the business plan, but it's not a business plan. A business plan is not go out and tell all your friends and family about the product, and then when they tell you to go away, you run away dejected. That's not a business plan. And it's just it's frustrating to me how many people, if they would, and I'm one of those people, and I'm a convert, because there's some projects that you and I are working on that you have sat down and forced me to make a plan, and because I have made that plan, we're having a lot more success than we were before. So it's just it's powerful and valuable information that people just need to actually take the time to implement.
I just had a Nancy Pelosi moment.
Uh-oh. I don't know what that means. Are you going to tell me? Are you going to tear up their papers in front of me?
No, didn't you see what I watch? With your mouth. She's
Uh,
always sitting behind the president and
well, she's got
chewing
to
on
adjust
her
her
teeth or
dentures.
something. Yeah, well, I don't have any dentures, so.
All right, I'm going
So
away now.
yes, you're right, and planning is critical in what we do. And please let me help you. I've got over 40 years of experience with this, and I'm willing to help anybody that wants help. So anyway, thank you all for listening. Please like, share, and subscribe on our uh, on our YouTube channel. And if you're anywhere else, please like and share with others. We build our business off referrals, and our video podcast is built off referrals as well. So thank you all for coming. Have a great week, and we'll see you here next week at financialfreedomradio.com.
Thanks for listening. Please remember to subscribe to the podcast. If you want to learn how to create real sustainable wealth like the extremely rich people do, or maybe you just want to sustain the wealth you already have, you need to check out Dr. Ray's new book, Why the Rich Are Rich. Ray's been coaching clients for 35 years and has completely unlocked the secret strategies that rich people use day in and day out to grow and sustain their wealth, regardless of what's going on in the economy. His book is completely free, and you can get it by going to whythericharerich.com and entering your email address. Again, that's whythericharerich.com. Head over there now.